Sime Darby Plantation and 5 of its subsidiaries are being sued for 5.88 trillion rupiah, approximately 1.72 billion ringgit, over the disposals of 2 plantation units. Indonesian company Asakarya Multi Pratama, or AKMP, which filed the civil claim, had wanted to acquire the said units, Ladang Rumpun Subur Abadi and Sajang Helang, for 1.65 trillion rupiah, approximately 483 million ringgit. It claimed that Sime Darby Plantation had snubbed the deal and unlawfully offered shares in the 2 subsidiaries to a third party. Sime Darby Plantation said its lawyers advised that it has sufficient legal basis and merits to defend the claim. The company said the claim was also misdirected because, among others, it did not have any contractual relationship with AKMP. AKMP is alleging that Sime Darby Plantation's subsidiaries had acted in bad faith by denying the existence of a deal. It said it had paid a down payment and had an agreement with Sime Darby's subsidiaries to buy the 2 units. But the down payment was returned and a conditional sale and purchase agreement was not executed. AKMP is seeking a material compensation of 882.5 billion rupiah, about 258 million ringgit, and immaterial compensation of 5 trillion rupiah, about 1.46 billion ringgit, for loss of reputation and efforts spent, among others. CGSCMB research expects withdrawals under the special EPF scheme to be milder compared with past programs. This is because most members are unlikely to have enough left in their savings to be able to take out the maximum 10,000 ringgit. In an economics update today, CGSCMB economist Nazmi Idris said that in addition, the public has less need for financial support, with expectations of good investment returns in the future, given the strong EPF performance last year. He projected lower withdrawals of 15 billion ringgit to 20 billion ringgit, but added this could still add 45 basis points to the nation's year-on-year gross domestic product growth. Assuming 20 billion ringgit in total withdrawals and a marginal propensity to consume of 0.35, Nazmi estimates the direct impact on consumption could be around 7 billion ringgit, with the rest put towards paring debt or savings. He said this means that private consumption could grow by an additional 78 basis points year-on-year in 2022. In the long term, though, this might mean that the country may not be able to adequately prepare for the impending silver tsunami. He said as a result, the government may need to raise the retirement age to continue rebuilding members' savings and reduce the cost of government support for the elderly. Failure to do so will see the government facing a higher debt to GDP ratio. Gamuda has revised its internal minimum wage policy for its workforce across the engineering, property and infrastructure group. In a statement today, it said effective May 1st, the minimum wage for foreign workers will be hiked from 1,200 ringgit to 1,600 ringgit. The company will also be increasing the entry-level pay for fresh graduates from 3,300 ringgit to 3,500 ringgit for engineers and from 3,000 ringgit to 3,200 ringgit for non-engineering graduates. Gamuda said it has reviewed these wage levels to ensure that its entry-level offers are competitive and within the top quartile of the industry to enable the group to continuously attract and develop the necessary talent for business growth. It said the minimum wage and graduate entry-level pay increases will raise the floor for the group's baseline pay. As a result, its workforce in the immediate pay bands above this, up to 5,000 ringgit, will also enjoy a cascaded pay increase to adjust for internal equity. In a separate statement later in the day, Gamuda announced its second quarter FY22 earnings rose 44% year-on-year to 177.13 million ringgit, with its construction and property divisions reporting improved earnings as works on all fronts picked up pace. Quarterly revenue also jumped 44%, hitting 128.88 billion ringgit. This took first half FY22 net profit to 329.5 million ringgit, a 41% increase, and 6-month revenue to 2.04 billion ringgit, up 23%. An MACC official testified today that the late UWIN founder, Datuk Yu Swee Keng, decided to give an additional statement to the anti-graft agency against former Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng last August because the ex-DAP Secretary-General was no longer considered untouchable following the fall of the Pakatan Harapan coalition government. MACC recording officer Superintendent Muhammad Nazri Mansor was reading Yu's statement during Lim's graft trial involving the 6.3 billion ringgit Penang undersea tunnel in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court today. He said Yu had told him that when the MACC began its probe into the undersea tunnel project, PH was still in power in Putrajaya. Yu apparently called Lim untouchable back then, pointing to the DAP man's acquittal in his previous bungalow case and adding that he had heard lots of stories of Lim allegedly receiving money from contractor companies. Yu's statement read, quote, "I feel there is a need for me to tell the truth, as there are a lot of secrets regarding this matter which I have kept to myself, which I felt over time there is a need to expose it as it may affect my business," unquote. Yu's 7-page statement, dated August 14, 2021, was recorded by hand by Nazri and was accepted by the court to be tendered as evidence last December. MRT Corp says it has nothing to do with the investigation currently being carried out by the MACC into alleged graft by two engineering firms involved in an MRT project. In a brief statement today, the company said that if requested, it is ready to extend its full cooperation in the investigation. It also reminded all its business partners, contractors and subcontractors that it will not tolerate any form of corruption within its project ecosystems, and said due actions such as contract termination and or blacklisting will be taken against any company found to be involved in wrongdoing. Yesterday, Bernama reported that 3 directors and 2 former directors of an engineering firm had been detained by the MACC to assist in a corruption case involving over 650 million ringgit related to the MRT project. Citing sources, the report added, the 2 former company directors were believed to have received 27 million ringgit in bribes from another engineering firm as kickback to be appointed as a consultant for the project in 2017.